Hi, Christy. I just wanted to show you really quick. I think this would just be easier to give this feedback to you so that you can revise your project. A couple things that I see and kind of ignore this red box here. This is just trying to link to the font that you have on your computer. Apparently, I don't have that same font. So it's telling me, hey, we don't have this Janda Sparkle font. So you might want to either change it or find that font. I'm just going to go quickly and change it to a font that, let's see here, that may work. So just kind of ignore that part. Let's see, I'll just keep it nice and simple here. Okay, so let's pretend like this is your typeface. Everything looks good. The only thing that I could, well, there's a couple things. The quote itself, I would suggest that, and it looks like, let's go ahead and check your sizes here. Document setup. So if you go to File, Document Setup, okay, so this is something that definitely needs to be changed here. And I believe in the instructions for, let me go back here, for this assessment, you are to create this as that you are actually having this ready to be shown on the web. So you're given specs that need to be in pixels, 1080 by 1080. So if you go, I would say open your file back up, go File, Document Setup in Illustrator, and go ahead and change this points to pixels. You want to make sure you're in the right units. Pixels is for, online. If you're showing anything online and the online specs call for pixels, you need to change it to pixels. Okay, click OK. The next thing that you need to do is go to Window up on your menu bar. I know you can't see the window on my screen here, but it's Window on your menu bar. And you're going to choose Properties panel. And when this Properties panel comes up, I'm going to move my stuff here so you can see it. All my stuff's in the way. Here we go. You actually can change the units of measurement here too. So just kind of pay attention to that in your Properties panel. You have your artboard. You can edit your artboard here. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at, let me pull this out so I can see your whole thing here. We're going to go to edit artboard just to make sure you have the right width and your right height. And it does, it's perfect. So this entire artboard is correct. The only thing that you need to do is change this from points to pixels. Now, I would suggest utilizing your entire artboard with your artwork. So I would suggest, making this bigger. And it looks like you have a gradient on this. Let's go ahead and do, there's the gradient here. There we go. So I would probably just go ahead and have this kind of bleed off all right here, all four corners. And make sure it's 100% by 100%. So it's not all, oh, you have some weird things going on here. Okay, 100% here, which is your aspect ratio. So you have a nice even amount of, it's not distorted anyway, the circle inside. And, obviously you want to make sure that your copy is easy to read. You might need to change the lightness or darkness. I think this is getting a little hard to read. What you could do is go ahead and change your, let's see here. You could change this so it's not fully white here. So for instance, let's go up to Window and go Swatches. Your swatches up here. See where your white, these are called stops, these little sliders. See where your white is. Let's go ahead and drag down just like a little of a darker gray. There we go. Go even darker than that maybe. There we go. This may ease the reading of your type possibly. You might even want to flip your gradient so that the outside is light and your inside is dark. So it's opposite of what you see here. So we can do that. Let's see here. Oops. Oh, that's too much here. Actually, let's go back to what you had right here. Okay, so you can do that by flipping. So this would have to be a gray color. So your black stop would be gray. This black would be gray, and then this would be black. So you're just swapping those colors out there. For some reason, there's a white in between there. That's really odd. Let's pull that out. There we go. You had the location, just set that at 0 so that you have a little bit of, let's see here, we want to put dark inside though. Oh, okay. Your gradient set. Okay. So just go to edit gradient. I was trying to figure out why that was doing that. Sets, go ahead and hit edit gradient and then play around with your stopper here. This is kind of what allows you to control, you know, the type of gradient that you have, so that maybe you have the darker part on the inside and a lighter part on the outside, kind of what I was telling you about before. Let's go ahead and stretch this out a little bit. There we go. And you can also make this bigger. There we go. So you could do something like that where you're kind of playing around with just the gradient itself, trying to make your, and I would probably make this a little darker. The type is just kind of hard to see. I'm just going to put it in black so you can kind of see what there we go. I don't know, kind of play around with it. What's important is that it's readable. You know, you don't want it to be not readable. Darkness of your past. So this might actually be really good for the quote that you have here, because, you know, you're kind of showing that darkness inside, but then it's coming out lighter on the edges, you know, kind of the light shining around through the darkness that you're, you know, in your life, or what you're kind of showing here in your quote. You might even want to add like a color to this if, you know, you want to emphasize the light part. Let's go ahead and add, yeah, right, add a color here. Let's go drag that off. Here we go. And let's drag this over here. Edit gradient again. Let's make this so we gotta get a little darker. Something like that. Oh, that's center. Okay, something like that. I don't know. You can play around with it. Oh, that's kind of cool too. You can kind of have it directional. All right, so I do also notice if you zoom in, and zooming in is really good, I do notice that you have another type box here. Just go ahead and click on that with your selection tool and delete it. And I think you have, I think that's definitely more effective than what you had before, but pay attention to that. You could also, just some suggestions, make your light shine through the darkness of your past. You could have it like where shine, let me pull my, becomes emphasized and bigger. So let's give it some leading here, which is the space in between your lines. And let's bring this up. Let's do like 200. Okay. You're going to have to adjust your leading if you do that. Okay. And then I would put a period here. I would change your quotes, just highlight your quotes and change it to one that's, I would say, like looks kind of like a curly Q. I'm finding this under my source. I don't know if you have that variable, kind of looks a little nicer in the way that it curls like that. Maybe darkness becomes bold, but you keep it smaller because you don't really want to emphasize that too much because we're trying to show that this is dark and you don't really want, the darkness. You want the shine to really shine. So, but you can make it so that it's different. It kind of is different in your quotes as far as the emphasis. Oops. So a couple of things that you can improve upon. I definitely would pull your color so it looks like it's utilizing all of your layout. I would definitely change your units to pixels. You don't have to change your size of your layout, it's fine, just the units. And kind of play around with the hierarchy of your type. What can you make it to have that personality, to give those words a personality, to give them a way to visually speak to somebody who's reading this quote. All right, well, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.